What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Coach Jay is in the house, man. We're talking federal government contracting. Oh, man. We're in here. We're doing it on a Friday night, late stream. That's what we're going to do, man. So let me know, man. Once you're joining in, just drop in the chat for me. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're watching from. You know, we're doing it live here, man. Live here on this YouTube streets on a Friday. Talking about federal government contracting, man, and how simple it is, how anyone could get in and get started in federal government contracting, man. We're going to do a bunch of Q&As and all that. So I'm glad that everyone is joining in. Let me know, man. Let me know where y'all watching in from. Let's be watching in from. I want to show y'all, man, the ins and outs, the simple process when it comes to federal government contracting, man. How simple it is that you can jump in and you can get started. You can get started making an income, a living income in federal government contracting. All right. So listen, I was doing some research today, man, and I found out that when it comes to federal government spending and federal government contracting, last year alone, in the height of a pandemic and the height of everything that's going on, listen, the federal government spent over $6 trillion when it comes to goods and services. So listen, a lot of people don't even know that this space and this arena exists, that you can take a small business, establish one today, and then get started in federal government contracting and make anywhere from 6 to 7 figures and beyond in federal government contracting. And the way that I show you on this side, man, I show you how you can actually do it without doing the physical work. Oh, man, we got Miss Ellis checking in from Washington, originally from Arkansas. I see you. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being in the house, man. Listen, once y'all coming on in, we got some people jumping on in. Just drop in the chat, man. Drop in the chat for me. You know, communicate with me. Let me know. Have you heard anything about federal government contracting? Do you know how federal government contracting works? Or do you even know that as a small business that you can get in and start earning income in federal government contracting? You know, drop it down in the chat for me. Let me know. Let me know. Again, if you're watching this in the replay, put it in the chat too as well. I will be able to correspond with you and answer questions you have when it comes to federal government contracting. So as I was saying, you know, one thing that you must know, everybody has been around the block for a little bit. You know, when it comes to the federal government, that they're not affected by recession. They're not affected by, you know, as we just went through the pandemic, you see how they were able to generate income and money and was able to bail out certain small businesses and all that. So all the news outlets and everyone is talking about this pending recession that we're going into. So we have decided to come on here and spread this information on how you can actually start in federal government contracting to hedge against, you know, this recession that we're coming into. Because the federal government, if you do not know, is one of the largest, or if not the largest, purchaser of goods and services in the entire world. So what I show you and what I encourage you and I spread the information, how you can get started, how you can partner with the federal government and actually earn an income in federal government contracting. You are able to actually, you know, you are able to actually survive anything that comes with you. Okay. Oh man, so I got somebody new in the house that said that you let me bring it up here, man. Miss Ella Standby, she caught our live earlier on TikTok and started the process. Stuck with adding my LLC. So listen, that's what I'll do, man. I'll go through right now and the 3 simple steps when it comes to actually getting started in federal government contracting. There is only 3 steps. And again, anyone that's watching this replay or on this live right now, it's 3 simple steps how you can go from knowing nothing about federal government contracting all the way of starting a federal government contracting business and earning 6 to 7 figures from home without doing the physical work. So that's what I wanted to come on here to you on tonight and actually show you actually this actual process on how you can get started. Okay. So listen, when it comes to the federal government, and you partnering and doing business with the federal government, the very first thing that you need to grasp and understand is that the federal government does not do business to person. All right. Right off the bat, they don't do business to person. So the very first step, if you want to jump in and get started with federal government contracting and make this money from home, the very first step you need to do is to establish an LLC. One of the easiest way that I have found out to get that started, let me see if I could share this with y'all, man. Boom. All right. So one of the companies that I have actually used now is Zen Business. I have used Zen Business now. I love the way their interface is when it comes to actually establishing your LLC. Now, I'll be honest with you right off the bat, when it comes to actually upfront costs in getting started in federal government contracting, it'll be different for everyone, because the upfront cost to get started is what it will cost for you to get your LLC registered and filed with your state. So again, dependent on what state you live in, that would be the upfront cost for you to get started enrolling in this. Okay. So I actually use two. I really like Zen Business here. As you can see in Zen Business, they actually would have the ability for you to actually do a name search if you're starting from absolute scratch. If you're starting from absolute scratch and you're actually getting started in federal government contracting, meaning that you don't have an entity established already, you don't have an LLC, you don't already have a small business, but you found this content to be interesting and you want to get started to make this income from home, and you're starting your LLC, what I love about Zen Business right here is that they are able to actually do a name search for you. So you can know if that name actually exists in your state before you actually get started in federal government contracting or get started opening up your LLC. All right. And listen, I would put a link to all these websites that I've used and I've had success with. I will drop it down in the description. So you will be able to just simply click on those links and it will bring you right to this actual description. Okay. So listen, if you go, let's say we want to name this, let's say GovBiz. Let's see if it's available. GovBiz. So you simply click start now. I love this interface. Start now. And then they will give you a choice. Do you want to open a corporation or do you want to start a regular LLC? You just jump on and click LLC. And then what the AI will do, it would actually search based off of your state. Let's pick a state. Let's go with Florida. Oh, not. Why not? Florida. And you click send. And it would actually search the database in Florida, the Sunbiz and all that, to let you know, boom, look at this interface. I love it. And it will let you know, hey, it's available. So you can now move forward with actually establishing your LLC. All right. So again, I use ZenBiz. You don't have to use them. That's who I've used. We have also used what do we call InkFile. If you see InkFile right here. So I like InkFile too as well. And ZenBiz, what they actually do, they actually charge you, the only cost to get started is what is called the state registration, what it will cost to file that in your actual state. So if you jump down here and you drop whatever state you live in, again, I'm just showing you the simple process and what to get started. So as you can see on this side, all right, the simple steps to get started, boom, you would go with your LLC. The very cheapest rate. You could see that we do have different options that comes with a registered agent. It comes with all that information, but you can simply just pick the basic bottom line to get started. Okay. Once you're establishing your LLC and getting it filed and registered in your state, one of the key caveats that I always mention, please use a physical address. Okay. This is slightly different from if you would come across some content when they're telling you about establishing business credit and how to set up your profile properly. They will let you to tell you to use a virtual address. For the purposes of federal government contracting, the registration process does not like virtual address. You are going to get hung up through that registration process. So what I'm showing you is the simple, easy process to get in and get started and start winning federal government contracts. So I show you that simple path. Later on, you can always update your address and all that if you want to use a virtual address. For the purpose of registration to get in and out, always use a physical address if you have that, okay? So again, I would leave a link down in the description to all of this website, all the tools that we use to actually find this. So on there, you will just simply pick this the lowest part just to get started. Again, you could come on and pick whatever state you're in. Wisconsin, let's say you're in Wisconsin, we look like it's $103 to get started in Wisconsin. And it's just the simple state filing fee, as you can see, that they charge you. All right. So again, you simply just come up here. I'm done. This one is InkFile. Zen Business is the actual other one that we use. And I'll put a link to both of them in here. You just simply drop in what state you're in. As you can see, you could change your state. Let's go with Georgia. All right. And Zen will let you know if that is available in your state. They're checking the availability and boom, it lets you know that it is available in your state. Okay. And again, just like with Zen Business, they only charge you the minimum what it costs to get your LLC registered and filed in your state. So that's step one. That is step one. You have to have an entity in order to get into federal government contracting, so the federal government would be able to do federal government contracting with you. All right. So that's step one. Get that LLC, get it registered, get it in your state. So let me take a look here and see what we have. We look like we got some questions, comments over here. Let me see what's going on. Boom. All right. Listen, man, we got some people in the house. We got Drake Williams, man. Listen. Yes, man. I know. So just make sure that your notification stuff is on. I can be able to actually see your questions and bring it up here. So listen, as y'all coming in, man, do me a favor. Just drop what city and state that you're looking in. I seen y'all in the house, man. Miss Lauren Candy, I see you, man. Okay, great. Y'all coming in, man. We answering all these questions. I like this platform a little better. I can actually show you what's going on, show you what I'm looking at instead of moving my phone around. All right, so no problem. So we're covering step one to get your LLC. Listen, when it comes to your LLC, it does not matter what industry your LLC is in. If you already have an LLC established, it could be for trucking, it could be for lawn care, it could be for home health care. You can use whatever you have to get started. All right. If you're going from scratch, if you don't have a small business established, if you don't have an LLC established, and you're actually starting from scratch, the only thing that I tell you, I would advise you, just make it generic. Make it generic when you're establishing your LLC. Meaning, I should not be able to look at your name of your business and know what industry it's in. So make sure and just keep it generic and keep it that, okay? So if you have to have an entity, step one, you have to have an entity to get started. LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever you have, you can use and get started in federal government contracting, okay? No problem. Listen, I see y'all coming in, man. So that's step one. All right, let me see. All right. With that being said, does it matter what NAIC codes you use? No, it does not matter. It does not matter, because once you get into Sam.gov, once you're registering your business inside of Sam.gov, you are able to add different NICS codes, NAIC codes to your registration to let the federal government know this is what I can provide to the federal government. So if you come across let's say a lawn care contract, You can simply add the lawn services contract NICS code into your registration to tell the federal government that, look, I'm able to provide this service to you. So it does not matter what NICS code your industry is in that you're registering inside of Sam.gov. Doesn't matter, because you are able to add as many NICS codes as you can when you're going through the contract stages. Okay. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps, man. You got it? Cool, cool, cool. You got it. All right. Just found out that we can't use a virtual address. It is extremely difficult to go through the registration process, Philip, if you use an actual virtual address. I'm telling you from experience. Again, I have no skin in the game. I know some people will try to sell you virtual addresses and all that, but I'm trying to give you the simplest and the in sync portion to get started in this. Okay. If you try, and again, a lot of people in our community has actually tried to register with a virtual address, and they are still waiting for their registration to actually go through. So we ask you to use an actual physical address if you have one. If you don't, if your small businesses does not have a physical address, use your home address to get through the registration and to get started. All right. All right. Lorraine said, just renew your SAM account. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, I'm giving y'all all the information that you can come across my content and actually apply it and actually get started and kick the can down the road. Okay. So remember, so step one, you have to have that entity. Listen, I don't care what other research you come across and stuff like that. I'm going to advise you the best practices. I understand human nature and people are going to do what they want to do. But I'm telling you, the best practice is to establish an LLC and get started. Okay. Don't use a sole proprietor. Don't use a DBA and all that. Establish an LLC. Again, there are benefits that comes with having a small business. If you know at your, you get tax benefits and stuff for having a small business. So use that to get started so you can actually go through the process and get started in federal government contracting. All right. So that's the first step. Again, for anyone who's watching this on the replay or is in here now, if you already have a small business established, it could be an LLC, taxes and S corp. You can use that. You don't have to go out and actually start a new small business to get into federal government contracting. You can use what you have to get rolling. Okay. If you're starting from scratch, there is no waiting period. You can form your LLC today, get it registered inside of Sam.gov, and then you can start rolling and winning contracts. There is no 2-year or waiting period at all. All right. So that's the first step, man. That's the first step. You get that LLC, registered in your step. And then the second step, as we move on, you have to get your free EIN number. All right. Your free EIN number. So as you know that there are so many other businesses and websites out there will try to charge you to actually get a EIN number. You can simply come to irs.gov right here, the IRS website. Make sure that you are on the official IRS website. And then you would actually come down right here and you would apply for that EIN number. Okay. You would get your LLC first, and then you want to get your EIN number that's associated with that LLC. Okay. Do it in that order. I know that there are some ways you can get an EIN if you're doing a DBA or a sole prop, but once you get that LLC, you would get your EIN number that's associated with that LLC. So your EIN number is your social security number for your business. Okay. And again, it's absolutely free. You would simply come here to the IRS website and you would click apply for your EIN number. And you would get an EIN number. You would print it off. You'll get it in a couple minutes. And then you would actually print it off and actually save that EIN number. Okay. So IRS does up, and that would be step 2. That will be step 2 on how you actually go about getting your actual EIN number. All right. All right. I see I got a couple questions in here. Let me see what we got. What we got. Let's see. Boom. What are some good contracts to go for? Like trucking supplies? Listen, there is a process that I tell everyone. Once you're now getting started, I would encourage, if you're brand new, I would encourage you to go after service-based contracts, meaning lawn care, toilet rentals, any type of service that the federal government is looking for. The reason for that is that if you go after service-based contracts first, there is no upfront cost to you, meaning that the subcontractor will actually do the work first, and then they would invoice you for the work that they have done. So there is no bankroll that you have to carry or anything. You can get started today with as minimal as the cost to get your LLC registered with your state, and then you can actually win a contract and start earning money. Okay, so I would tell everyone to go after service-based first. As I mentioned, any type of rental and stuff. Okay, so I hope I helped you out there, man. All right, so let me see. So, Alice, is it best to get a unique entity ID? So that is part of the registration process in Sam.gov. Once you get your LLC and your EIN number, then you would take both of them, and I will show you here in a minute, and get those registered in Sam.gov. All right. So step 2, as we mentioned, that you get your no problem. You're more than welcome. You would get your step 2. You would get your EIN number. All right. You get your EIN number. That's step 2. Again, these 2 steps that I've just covered to you, you have to do it in that order. Get your LLC first, and then get your EIN number that's associated with your LLC. All right. So that's the 2 steps. And the very last step, again, there's only 3 basic steps to get started. All right. The very next step is to register that business inside of Sam.gov. You register that inside of Sam.gov. So as you can see right here, all right, the official website is Sam.gov. You have to make sure that you are on the official website. Again, I found out today that there are some other sites out here that mimics Sam.gov that will try to charge you to actually file and register your LLC in Sam. But as you can see here, that Sam.gov is 100% free. It's 100% free right here. It's the official website of the US government. And again, it's 100% free. So right here is where you would take your LLC and your EIN number, and you would register right here inside of Sam.gov. All right, inside of Sam.gov. You would register that in here. And now once you're registered, once you put that information in, Sam.gov will assign your business, your LLC, it will assign it an unique entity ID right here, a UEI number. It would assign your business a UEI number. And then once you go through the registration process, the verification process and all that, then they would assign your business what is called a cage code assigned to your business. Your registration will become active, and now they're able to actually award you federal government contracts. All right. They are able to award you those federal government contracts. So that's the 3 basic steps. That's the 3 basic steps when it comes to getting into federal government contracting. All right. 3 basic steps. You go step 1, you get your LLC. Step 2, you get your EIN number, and it's completely free. And then you would register that LLC and that EIN inside of Sam.gov. And the registration process also is completely free. Okay, it's completely free. So those are the 3 simple steps that you do wants you to get into federal government contracting and to start making money. Start making money. Listen, if you don't know, the federal government has set aside billions of dollars for small businesses like you and I to actually go in and win these contracts and make a decent living. Listen, y'all may, again, do your own research. Do your own research. Don't take my word only for it. But you can see how much people are out here making a well-off living in federal government contracting. And especially the way that I show you is that we don't actually do the physical work. All right? No problem. Let me see. I can drop a question here about how long does it take to get your cage number. So there's been a change in the process. Okay. So before the process was, no problem. Y'all hit the like button, man. Drake said hit the like button. So before the process was, you get your LLC, and then you would get your EIN, and then you had to go over to Dun and Bradstreet to get your DUNS number first. And then you would register inside of Sam.gov. So they've actually gone away with that third step of actually getting your DUNS number. So you no longer require your DUNS number for the purpose of registration. You no longer require it. So because they've made that change, it used to take about 24 to 48 hours. But now they're backlogged because of that switch. So it's actually taking them a little longer. I'm seeing people are in there for a couple of weeks before they go through the whole process and actually get their cage number assigned to their business. But listen, I tell everyone, you don't have to sit idle and wait for your actual business to become active or to get that cage code. Okay? You don't have to wait. Once you put in the information in there, you can then become active and actually find these contracts, find the actual solicitations that's out there, look at the documents, find everything, and actually learn how the process of getting the package together and submitting these quotes before your registration has become active. So as soon as it becomes active, you can hit the ground running and you're ready to go. All right? No problem, man. I hope I'm providing some type of value and some information in here for you. Okay. All right. Let me take a look here at some other questions. See. All right. Bobby P says, when registering for my LLC, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to use a free email address. Now it will be able to change it. Yes. So listen, your registration in Sam.gov, you are able to update your registration. Okay. So once you go through the registration process, you'll be able to change your bank information. You're able to change your phone number. You're able to change your address. You're able to change your email address as well. So again, if you use what you had and you use one of those free email address to go through the registration, once you get a professional business email address, you can always come back in later and update that. Because again, we want to have a professional business email address. So we want to have a professional business email address. So when we actually go to actually reach out to these subcontractors or communicate with the federal government, we present ourselves as a professional business as we are. So that's what I tell everyone. Again, you can always update it later on. Okay. All right, Bobby. No problem. All right. Oh, no problem. No problem, man. You got the like button for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So listen. All right. So now that we've actually gone through the process, I've showed you all the 3 simple process, man. It's that simple. I tell everyone, don't actually try to complicate the process. Okay. Don't add anything else to the gravy. Don't add any other spices. Those are the streamlined and the simple process you need in order to just find my content or find information about federal government contracting that you always wanted to get into. You can follow those 3 steps and then you will be postured and in the right position to get started in federal government contract. That's it and that's all. All right. So I know a lot of people have asked me, hey, can I show you how we actually search for these contracts that's out there? How we actually search for these contracts. So in Sam.gov, you don't have to actually register in Sam.gov. You don't have to log in. Anyone that's watching this on a replay or watching me right now can actually open up a web browser and go to Sam.gov to actually see the contracts that's out there. Actually visually see the type of contracts the federal government is putting out for the work that they actually need done. So all you will simply do right here, you will go to search. Once you go to search, you will scroll down to where it says select a domain. You will select contract opportunity right here. And then you would scroll down and then you would click active and inactive right here. Once you click active, inactive, all you will see is all these contract opportunities that's available for you to actually pursue and win these federal government contracts. All right. You will be able to see these federal government contracts that's out here. And again, let me show you one more time in case so you don't have to rewind this video or anything. You go once you're on the home menu, you will go to search right here where it says contract opportunities. And then you will come down and says active, inactive. All right. So that's how you would actually find these contract opportunities that's actually out here to be actually bidded on. And as you can see, we have over 4 million contract opportunities that's right here on Sam.gov. So all you can simply go through this list and find a contract that looks interesting for you and actually work these contracts. Now, you don't have to actually know how to physically do what the federal government is asking for, because the way that we show you is that you can actually find a local subcontractor who is in that vicinity, who is capable, skilled, and willing to actually do what the federal government is asking for. That's the actual key and the crux to all of this. That's what separates us from anybody else, that we show you how you can actually do federal government contracting without doing the physical work. We don't actually go to these sites. We don't clean toilets. We don't clean windows. We don't cut the grass. We actually show you how to actually win these contracts and automatically sub them out and have a local subcontractor physically do the work, and actually you receive payment for actually winning and subbing the contract out. All right. So that's the gist of how we actually find these contracts that's out here. So if anybody in the chat right now has gotten this far in the process, has any question about the process, you could drop a question in the chat. Or even if you're watching this replay, you're not on the live right now, but you're watching the replay, put some questions down in the comments. I will respond. I respond to all questions. Okay. I respond to all questions. If everybody's on here right now, listen, if you're not following me, please subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to the channel. So the next time I go live, you can jump on, man. And I could actually answer your question. I could highlight your question, and I could show you examples of how you actually get into this, how you actually do what the federal government is asking for. All right. So let me do this, man. Let me show you all an actual example. Let me show you an example of what is out here, how we actually dissect and how we actually read one of these actual contract opportunities that the federal government put out here. So you may or may not know, but the federal government, they actually put out over 96,000 contract opportunities. They upload this Sam.gov, update the contract opportunities that's out there, with anywhere between 97,000 contract opportunities are updated daily on that. So take a moment and let that sink in, that they update. They need this product and services, and they actually update Sam.gov out there daily. Again, if you don't believe me, take a look for it. See how long it will take you to get to the end of all those contract opportunities that's out there. All right. So let me actually show you these contract opportunities that's out here and how you could actually look and read and understand these contract opportunities. So look at this. So this is the federal government. The federal government is asking for portable chemical toilet latrines. So they're actually looking to rent portable toilet services. Now, I'll be honest with you. These are some common ones that's out there. These are some common ones that's out there. All right. As we can see the department that's actually requesting it. We can see it's for the DOD, the Department of Defense, right here. We could actually see that it's active. All right. And we can see right here that it's for the set aside is actually for a total small business. Total small business. So this, therefore, a small business like you and I can actually win these contracts. All right. So, and we can see that the area that they want it for is in Texas. And once we look down at the description, they give you a brief description right here of what actual service they're wanting. So they want the lease of some latrine toilets, and on this, what is called a contract opportunity or a solicitation, the words is used interchangeably. So that's one thing that I would encourage anyone. If you're getting into federal government contracting, you actually learn the lingo. You learn the lingo, because once you actually start communicating with the federal government, with these contract officers who's actually putting together these actual solicitation, they will let you know. They will let you know exactly how you can actually get in touch with them. Okay. So listen, so on these solicitation, on these contract opportunities, you can see that the federal government will also attach all the required documents that you need to actually provide to them what they're asking for. So I want us to keep in mind that when it comes to federal government contracting, the federal government actually needs the actual service that they're actually putting out for a solicitation. So if the federal government needs a particular service done, they are not going to be vague. They are not going to be, dance in the gray area when it comes for what they want. Put yourself inside of the federal government shoes. You have a home and you need a particular service done. Let's say you want your water heater replaced at your house. You are not going to actually look for someone or look for a service and then be, well, I'm not sure exactly what I want replaced in the house. No, you will let them know, hey, I have a water heater. You will tell them the size of the water heater. You will tell them, the gallon size and all that. You will let them know this is what I want. And that's what the federal government does to us. They put out on Sam.gov, on the solicitation, they would put out everything from the type, the size, the length, the color. They will be that specific and detailed to let you know what they actually need. And it's up to us as a small business to provide this for the federal government. The great thing about this space, federal government contracting, especially the way that we show you how to get into it, is that we do not have to market ourselves to the federal government. We don't have to have a website. We don't have to have all of this fancy stuff to tell the federal government, hey, this is what I can do. No, the federal government does its own marketing by using Sam.gov and putting out there, this is what I'm looking for. Can you provide it? That's the beauty of it. All right. So I'm telling you right now, so you won't have any marketing cost or anything like that to get into this space. And that's why it was so key for me to let you know early on that the cost to get started in federal government contracting was what it will cost you to get your LLC registered in your state. That is it. Optional, you may want to spend to get a professional email address, but that's it. But that is it to get started. All right. So again, all of these documents here that's attached to this solicitation will give you all the information you need in order for you to get started in federal government to provide to them how to send this to them. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Got a question here. Let me come on up. Let me see this question you got for me. All right. So Bobby is asking, how do you determine how much to put on top of your contract for your profit for your contract? So we do what is called market research. So everyone knows that the federal government has deep pockets. Okay. They know that they spent $6 trillion last year alone when it came to goods and actual services. So we understand that the federal government has deep pockets, but just because the federal government has deep pockets does not mean that they are just have a blank check or that they're just blind to the fact of what actual services or product costs out there. The federal government does its own research on what an actual service or product will cost in the open market. They do their own research. So basically what the federal government is looking for is the best quality or for the best price. That's the best value for the best price. That's what they're looking at. So how do we know how much profit we can actually slot on top of the quote that we're getting in from our subcontractor, or how much profit we can get off of an actual contract that we're going after? We would do our own market research. And that's what we show too as well. We actually show you how you can do your own market research by getting multiple quotes out in the market. And once you get those quotes in, you should know where you are able to actually slot your profit on there and send it to the federal government. All right. So I hope that helps, Bobby. Hope that helps. So, all right. So when it comes, again, all the information that we're looking for, all the information that we need is on this actual document right here. All the information. But on top of that, I'm trying to illustrate how the federal government is thinking. On top of that, if there is any questions pertaining to these documents here, the federal government will also attach points of contact. We have a primary point of contact and we have a secondary point of contact. These are point of contacts that are there to answer questions that you may have pertaining to the information that you need. So let's say, for instance, in this documentation, it was not stated when they want the actual project to start, how many, let's say it did not state how many porta potties that they wanted to be rented. You are then able to reach out to your primary point of contact and ask questions pertaining to the actual documentation or to the actual contract in total. And they're there to help us and to assist us in providing us clarity so we can provide to them what is called an accurate quote. Oh man, I got my little bro in the house, man. Yo, my little brother's in the house, brother. What's going on, man? All right, listen. So yes, so they actually put on there, put on there all the information you need in actual to get started. All right. So if you have any questions, let's say you came across some documents and it did not specify how long they want this porta potties to be rented, you would simply get in contact with the point of contact, and then they would provide to you the answer. Because again, they need from us as small businesses, they need for us to provide to them an accurate quote in order for them to provide this service. Okay? They need to provide this service. All right, no problem. All right, let me jump back over here. Said that your phone died and you missed out the important part on how the profit works. Okay, so let me backtrack for you. Listen, I'm here for you. I got you. So the question was, how do you determine how much profit to put on top of the contract? We determine how much profit to put on top of the contract by doing our own market research. Okay. We do that by getting multiple quotes out there. And once we get the multiple quotes, we are inevitably doing the same thing that the federal government did. The federal government did their own research and find out what a actual product or service on the open market, what that actually cost. So once they find that out, they know in a ballpark of what the actual service will cost. And so when they put the solicitation together and they put it out there, the federal government, based on that knowledge that they know a ballpark of what the cost will be, they are looking for the best price for the best value. So that's what we do. We do our own research, and we teach you how to do that too as well. We teach you how to do your own market research by getting multiple quotes to know where I can actually slot my profit when it comes to this setting in that for you. So I hope that helped for you. Okay. No problem. Let me see. I got a question here. Do you have to submit a capability statement for each contract? So every contract is actually different. There is no way for me to sit up here and say that with every contract, you have to do this and that and that. In the federal government will let you know on every solicitation. They would tell you all the information you need to provide for that particular solicitation in order to satisfy that one. So this is what we show you. We show you how to actually look at the actual solicitation, understand what the federal government is asking for, and then we show you how to actually provide it. That's what we do. We show you how to actually provide it. All right. So I hope I answer your question there. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's move on, man. Let's move on. So let me see if I can show you. I'm showing you again when it comes to this information, that what the federal government puts on the actual solicitation or the contract that they're looking for. All right. So if we open one of these documentations right here, if we open one of these documentation, this one that says the statement of work right here, the statement of work will let you know that it's portable chemicals and hand wash station. It will give you all the information that you need. So the performance workstation will be detailed. It will let you know exactly what they're asking for, how long they want it for, the duration of it. If they want services of that porta potties, they will tell you how often they want it clean. Everything that you could think of that you need and actually to provide this service will be here on this performance work statement, or sometimes known as a scope of work. All right. It would actually be right on here. It tells you right here what the contractor shall do and all that information. They tell you the location on here, and they tell you the short-term, long-term, and all the information you need. So again, I hope this is making sense. I hope you're all getting value from it. And again, if you're watching it live, you could drop questions in there. If you're watching this on the replay, you can drop your questions inside of the comments, and I will be glad and happy to give you the free information right here in order for us to move the can down the road. Okay. So all this information in here, all this requirement that the federal government is putting on here. Now, what we do at this point in time, we actually find a local subcontractor in this area of Texas to actually do this physical work. So I know people ask me all the time, how am I not in the state of Texas? Because you've said over and over again that we do not do the physical work. We don't do the physical work. So how do we actually find a local subcontractor to actually perform what we're looking for? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. So what we would simply do, we will actually go to Google. We will simply go to Google. We will go to Google, and inside of Google, we would simply drop in there. Let me show you. Boom, let's go. We will go to Google, and we will show you that you could drop in porta portable washing stations right here. And you can get actual address and phone number of local contractors in that area who is able to actually perform the service that the federal government is looking for. So you would simply just give them this information. Look, I'm looking to get toilet paper rent, portable toilets rental. I need to make sure that the chemical toilets, the papers are there. Can you give me a quote so I can fulfill this for the federal government? And it is that simple. It is that simple. So the the subcontractors will actually send you back in a quote based off of the information that the federal government is asking for and that you're providing to them. You put a quote on it. And once you win the contract, the federal government will allot you. Now, most service-based contracts, like what you're seeing here, most service-based contracts are for 5 and 6 years. 5 and 6 years long. I've seen some for 4 to 5 to even 6 years long. Because one thing that I've understand based on my experience in this, once the federal government has you in place, once you're actually performing the service for the federal government and you're doing a good job, it is easier and more cost efficient for the federal government to have you stay in place and perform that service other than putting it out there to be bidded on again or to find another subcontractor who has to get familiar with the facility and all that. So that's how we show you how you can jump in and get started and actually start earning an income from home in federal government contracting. All right. So listen, if you want to tap in with me, again, I will put my information in the description of this channel. We have built an actual community of like-minded entrepreneurs that are actually doing this same thing that I'm showing you right now. We have entrepreneurs that are going back and forth and winning small businesses that are winning contracts like this and actually making 6 to 7 figures and plus and beyond from home without doing the physical work. So if you want to learn that, if you want to actually join and be part of a community where we actually rally around each other and do this, tap in with us. You would see the link in my bio. You can find us at fgcsimplify.com and you will be able to come. We even have free webinars where you could come and they can ask questions like this. I can show you my screen and I could give you all the information so you can make an informed decision. Everybody, if you look at the news and if you look at what's going on out there, they put out some doom and gloom about what's actually out there. So tap in with us, learn this skill, because everybody knows that the federal government is not going anywhere. So on this video, you can see a link in the description. We will drop it in the chat too as well. And listen, you can tap in with us. And then you can actually be part and learn this skill on how you can make 6 to 7 figures from home. All right. So listen, if anybody got any questions, again, if this is the first time you're coming across my content, like, subscribe, share it, share this information, man. I know that I needed this. There were some people that if I didn't come across this information, we are one contract away of changing your financial situation, changing your financial life, changing your family's information. So yeah, please don't. Yeah, thank you. Listen, thank y'all for jumping in and chatting with me. Like and follow. I'm trying to do this more often. I'm gonna try to come on here at least twice a week, man. I love this other platform where I could actually show you. There's more things I could say on this side. I could actually pin a comment so y'all can know what I'm talking about and what I'm reacting to. All right. So listen, thank y'all for joining with me, man. We've been on here for almost over an hour. I just wanted to jump on real quick and let y'all know that this is actually possible out here and how you can get started in those 3 simple steps. All right. Don't forget to tap in with us, man.